so that kind of puts him down. Even if he was kind of getting up, he's still like, ah!
Yes, he's once more alight. He's thoroughly caught fire. It's his turn next. You see him vanish from the top of the tower. He seems to have retreated in some way. You can hear his cries for help as he's engulfed in flame.
Well, I'm glad that my Pansar friend is already at the tower, then.
So if I'm there, I'm going to kick down the door to this windmill.
You do so. You see the tattered remains of a windmill. A rickety ladder leads up several floors, it looks like, past some slightly caved-in stories. In the infill, they were wood and they rotted away, up to the stone ceiling of the roof.
Do I see the fair maiden?
Go ahead and make a vigilant test for me, +2.
Failed.
No, you do not presently see the fair maiden.
All right, then I will rush over to the ladder and I will begin to ascend it.
You easily make it up to the top, and there's a hatch. I'll let you decide if you want to end the turn with it open and you're looking out and I'll tell you what you see, or with it closed.
We'll go closed.
All right. Now, Ansel.
From my position, I don't think I would rush towards the windmill. I will stay out there and try to stay alert, making observations of the battlefield to see if possibly Keller is summoning any help, or if there's anything else to set upon us. So I'll just stay where I am and play the scout.
If I can, I will scream over my shoulder if I saw that Ansel was, following me, that I do not see the girl.
Okay.
Do with that as you will.
Bartolom, top of the round again.
Since he is ducked into the windmill, I will look at my two friends that are, I assume, still next to me, Lita and Dover.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're watching slack-jawed with horror. The drover has lost hold of his pants again due to the cacophony and the shock. He's standing there with a slack jaw and an even more slack set of drawers. And your friend Lita is... You notice that as soon as action started, she jumped right into the woods and seemed to blend in quite comfortably. She's rather hard to see, but she seems to be hiding and waiting for the worst of it to be over.
Her large human ears stick out still, so I can see her.
Yeah, you get a vague sense of where she is, mostly because her coat is really, really brown, and the trees, what's left of the leaves on them, are sort of a withered and shrunken black on a background of a white frost that's come over the mountains.
Lita! Drover, come! We have to finish this at the windmill. And I'm gonna trot up there with them.
Alright, yep, they make their full round actions, you all make it to the door. You hear something happen. Michael, you're up. Orlan.
All right, I will gather myself. So, I'll use my legs to go up like another rung or two up the ladder, but without standing all the way up, so that I can then spring up very quickly, open the hatch, and then jump out onto the top, all sort of at the same time.
As you jump up, you see a very singed Keller. He seems to be bleeding from his several burns, being tended to by Augusta Jr., the wagon master's daughter. She seems to be glowering at you guys fiercely as she tends to his wounds. She points an incriminating finger at you and says, "How dare you? Why could you follow us here? Is this my father's work? Does he want to take me back there? I'll never go, do you hear me? Never! I finally found a real man!" And Keller gurgles in to support her.
And I say to Augusta, I say, "You didn't say that last night. Let's come on. This is all nonsense."
She looks briefly horrified as she recognizes you, but then goes back to her determined self-pitying. She says, There, Keller. You'll be okay. You'll get better." Keller, for his part, we're out of combat now. Keller has dropped his weapons and is just being tended to unless you guys want to continue combat.
I was actually going to, since I inflicted the wounds, and they are my magic, and I have felt a little corrupted. My shadow got a little weird shaped. I would like to go over and use my Medicus, but also bind him, because you know what? I'm not happy with Keller, but at the same time, I don't want him to die, because I like this chick and I want to see her again.
All
if
right.
you know what I mean.
Fair enough. Do you have any healing herbs?
I do have healing herbs.
You can use 1 healing herb and your Medicus kit to heal 1 hit point on Keller instantly. He only has 1 point of toughness. He has 1 hit point of toughness left, you can tell, being a trained Medicus. And he, like everyone in this world, will heal 1 point of toughness a day if cared for and reasonably treated.
Interesting.
Wow.
So yes, I will apply the herb, and I will say to Orlan, I'll say, Orlan, bind our friend Keller here.
I will do so.
All right. You tie up Keller. As you start to bind him up, and he gets the impression you're not just going to let him go, he says, "Please, let me go. I'll never steal again. I swear." The wagon master's daughter says, "Yes, let us go. Let us go." And Keller says, "Let me go."
I'm afraid we cannot do that. If you are an adult, I assume, and you are free to make your choices, but stealing away in the night and with some of your father's possessions, as I understand, you need to speak to your father, and then you can decide what to do. But as for us, we are taking you back to the caravan.
Please. You'll regret this.
I already regret this.
So his features and face change. He says, If you won't let me go, then you'll live to regret this. The undead Malrogan will find you and chop you to pieces. Not even death could beat him. You think you're a match for Malrogan, the master of death? Bah!
At the mention of a master of undeath, I think I'm going to get pretty upset. And I will reach down and grab him by the collar and shake him a little bit. What do you know of this undead blight? Tell me now.
As you shake him, some sort of crusts of his skin that have burnt and scabbed over flake off in the violence and begin weeping blood anew. He says, "No, please, I'll tell you that you're going to live to regret the day you punished me. He'll tear you to pieces. He'll chop you to bits. He's the leader of my old gang, and he's due to arrive any minute." Go ahead and make a vigilant... make it a cunning test. Anybody who wants to?
Okay. No modifier?
Nope.
Cool. 11 under 13.
9 under 10.
Holy shit, guys, we gotta run!
Woo! You both know that it's extremely unlikely he would be arriving... For Keller to know that he would be arriving any minute. That's probably a bunch of BS.
Mm-hmm. It seemed like it.
However, Lita does seem shaken at the mention of the name Malrogan. She says, "Oh, he's terrorized this countryside for some time. Oh, actually, how dare I forget, we have Orlan in the party. Orlan, you also recognize the name Malrogan. Sounds vaguely familiar."
Where do I know that name? Where do I know that name? And I will kick him with my steel-toed boot.
Keller says, "I don't know where you know him. He's a former Pansar. Maybe you know him there." And at that mention, the recollection comes back of a fellow man-at-arms on the field. He was strong and trustworthy. You served with him once or twice, very briefly, in a combat. You remember the name from someone who would help you up out of the dirt and take a shot for another man.
Oh, I was going to say when Ansel lifted him up by the collar, and definitely when Orlan kicked him, at that point I just wipe my hands. I'm like, all right, I'm not putting any more herbs on this fucking guy. I just look at Lita and I'm like, okay, I tried, okay?
I think you are mistaken. The man of which you speak is not a master of death. He's a good and honorable man. He served with me in the Queen's Panzers. Why would you say this?
Lita pipes up at this point. She says, "He may have been a good and honorable man once, but that was before his demise on the battlefield and his subsequent rising from the dead." Keller pipes in and says, Yeah, that's right. Death couldn't beat him, and neither can you. He'll be here any minute. He'll kill you all unless you let me go.
I slap him.
The wagon master's daughter says, "Yeah, let us go." And she also seems to look at Keller, and she says, "You never mentioned that he was undead." Keller says, "Quiet, baby. I'm handling this."
I for some reason I suddenly picture Keller as kind of a rockabilly with maybe a little bit of a pompadour.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's definitely Johnny Depp from Crybaby.
We have wasted far too much time on this. Please, miss, do not embarrass yourself further. Go down the ladder. Let us descend and get back to your father so he may dispense fatherly justice and our wagon train can continue on. We have good and just works ahead of us, not this silliness before us now.
All right, Orlan, roll persuasion. Give yourself a +2. That was a great oration. And Caleb, give me a mystery roll that I'm not going to tell you what it is. Just let me see some dice.
Ooh.
Barely passed, but I passed.
Okay. The wagon master's daughter, tears in her eyes, and a little bit of shocked look at the mention of a horror, nods quietly. She gets up and she gathers up the tiny glass trinkets that she considers her jewels, and begins to descend the staircase. Caleb, what'd you get?
I got a 6.
That's good. That's good enough, if you'll believe it. Your wonderful friend, the drover, who has been trying to keep as far out of the way of your violence as possible, so as to not draw your ire, he says, "Hey, is that a person coming? But they're not coming from the direction of the wagons."
Okay.
Miss, come back up this way, please.
She does so, looking confused. "What do you want from me? Why don't you let us both go?"
I want you to sit there and be quiet. So he said that so we could all hear it, right? Because Caleb made the roll, but then he said this out loud?
Yeah. He's sort of gesturing up further toward the hills, where now that you guys all take a second look, you do notice a figure, at least from this distance, a humanoid figure, who looks like they are reasonably well hidden, but apparently not well enough for Caleb's pretty good roll of a 6, and the drover's astonishingly high perception abilities. And he seems to be staring at you.
I'm going to say Fiddlesticks.
Dressed in black, sort of looks similar to Keller.
And after I say Fiddlesticks, I'm going to find Keller's crossbow. I'm going to give it to Ansel. And I'm going to say that we should deal with this post-haste.
Yeah, I'll take a shot at this figure with a crossbow once I'm handed it.
I mean, we don't know who he is. We don't need to shoot him yet. We need to figure out what's going on.
What? Mr. Violence is always the answer, starting to advocate against violence? What is this?
Every time there was violence before, there was a reason for it. May not have been a good reason, but there was a reason for it.
We're in the middle of nowhere. There's a figure coming from a direction other than where we came from.
And this guy's waiting for someone.
He's and plus he's probably an undead, and I'm a crazy church guy who hates undead. So yeah, I'm gonna take a shot at this guy.
You should wait till you can prove he's a crazy undead guy.
Better now than later. I'm gonna take a shot at him.
All right. Go ahead and roll discreet for me, first of all, to see if he's surprised. Pro tip, I bet he won't be.
I have a 3 under a 5.
Wow. Now I'm actually going to have to bother checking what his discreet... Nope. Still a fail.
That's okay. That's all right.
You actually had to roll a 0 or lower, I believe, on that to succeed, and it did not work. So, no. He's not surprised, but we'll go ahead and go in quick order, and once again, we'll give you the first action. What the hell? Roll some accurate. Hit him.
Hold on.
The figure in black, a ways off.
Yeah, he looks like a Nazgul.
Ooh, 2 under 13.
Boom. Yeah, that's gonna be enough. You hit. Roll some damage.
7.
Boom.
There it is.
So I will fire off the shot and then yell out loudly, "Halt, friend or foe!"
Twang!
Looks like it bounced off a little bit of armor, but it still plunges into this robed figure, and you get to choose to knock the robed figure down or take a free attack.
I'll take a free attack.
All right, go ahead and roll accurate. Boom! Halt! Who goes there? Boom!
8 under 13.
Hits. Roll some damage.
6.
Yeah, not quite enough to drop the robed figure, but certainly enough that now that it has 2 thick spines of bolts sticking out of its chest, for it to take much, much better cover. You get a vaguely human-like scream out of it. We'll go back to the top of the initiative. Bartolom.
Okay, so vaguely human-like scream. How's it moving?
It's not yet. It hasn't been its turn.
Okay, can I hold? Is that a thing?
Sure. I don't know if that's a thing, but I don't see any reason it shouldn't be, so go ahead and hold. Its action, it's going to limpingly trudge as quickly as possible up toward the base of the tower, and it finds a little crevice. It seems to know this territory pretty well. It finds a crevice to duck underneath to hide from any crossbow bolts shot from above.
Speak, friend, or be shot again.
The figure, also a resounding, very gruff female voice, says, "Ugh, there's invaders in the tower! Invaders in the tower, Malrogan! Come quickly!"
Oh, see, as I'm running down the tower, I'm saying to Orlan, see?
I was right.
Jesus.
I was totally right.
Yeah, but Prios was right, okay?
To be fair, you shoot a lot of people. Statistically, you're going to be right on occasion. That doesn't make this the correct decision.
Listen. Come down here and help me deal with this guy.
Prios guides my arrows.
So you guys roll down to the base of the tower, leaving your friends presumably safely at the top, not leaning over the ledge and watching you guys fight.
I don't know that we want to leave Keller up there. He already shot at us.
We bound him, though.
Yeah, but the girl could untie him.
Slap him.
Lita does offer to watch them, and the nameless drover would be happy to be left far away from you jerks.
We'll quickly make sure he doesn't have any weapons, and then, we'll leave him up there.
You've already checked his pants pretty thoroughly.
That's true. So, on my action, could I get out the door and... I don't know if I need to even see him to do Brimstone Cascade.
We'll just reconstitute the fight at the base of the tower. Start back from initiative.
Okay.
Everybody's downstairs ready to rock.
Okay.
Like breach the door or whatever you guys want to do if you're going out.
Yeah, okay.
I would take a second as we're getting ready to leave. I would turn around and I would actually hand her my dagger and just say, if we all fall, you should at least have a chance to defend yourself.
Her being who?
The daughter.
Yes. She says, "Oh, thank you. That's very kind." And she looks at you with these eyes, and suddenly you get the very distinct impression that she's warmed to you considerably in the last 20 seconds. 15.
Battle will do that to you. I'm sure it's...
And as we walk out, I kind of rib him, and I say, "I told you."
She screams down the ladder after you. "Be careful, dear Orlan. Take care of yourself. I'll be here waiting with your dagger."
Two-handed dagger.
And once you get to the bottom of the ladder, she says, "Oh, do you need a standard? A neckerchief? Please, take my silk doily." And she brings out this rancid hanky, just overused, and tries to lightly fritter it down the ladder. It plummets like a stone and hits with a wet noise.
I would be honored to carry that, and we'll just kind of mumble off and then walk away.
All right, so top of the initiative, Matthew, closed door in front of you. The wounded one seems to have not moved from the crevice. You can hear her still screaming that Malrogan, please come. I found invaders in the tower.
Okay, and we decided that I need to see the person to do my little magic.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, and I couldn't see her from upstairs if I stayed at the window.
No, she's hidden.
Okay. I am going to open the door and give her a blast of brimstone.
You'll have to go around the tower. She's about 90-degree angle in a little crevice.
Will I be able to make it in one attack?
Yeah. Move action to get around there. That seems
Yeah,
very reasonable.
yeah.
Abstract move actions.
I'll make a move action and then I'll give her a brimstone cascade.
I assume you don't want to be right up next to her.
No. Just so she's in eyesight. Like, even if it's just like her shoulder, I'll still brimstone her and hope that takes effect.
All right, man. The designers are going to be real mad at us when it turns out Brimstone Cascade is like a melee touch skill.
Yeah, they'll be so angry they'll be cursing in Swedish. Okay.
Very beautiful.
Ooh, 3. 3 out of 15.
That's definitely going to hit. Roll some damage.
Ooh, 11.
Yep, that's exactly 8 more than you needed. There is little left except a cinder and a pile of ash in the crevice. The cries of pain are cut very generously short, and then the flesh melts through with this intense fire. You can the smell is something that has haunted your dreams from the south, from putting animals out of their misery and doing, executing against the business of the order. But it's something that will always remind you of the brutal training regimen that got you here. Okay, the next in the initiative is Malrogan. You guys hear a gruff voice from across the clearing yell, "How dare you invade these lands that do not belong to you? I, Malrogan, the survivor, will punish those who dare to insult my lands." He strides out and starts, he doesn't have to take a rushed look. He slowly saunters, but still does a double move up toward you guys. He's sort of leering at you through the front door.
Now, does he look like a Nazgul, or what are we dealing with?
As he approaches, you see what was once a man, and Orlan, you recognize the man you once knew or once had seen. But sadly, the first thing you notice as he gets closer is that he seems to be missing his left arm. The wound has festered and seems to be leaking sort of a mild black ichor. You see that as he gets closer that the veins in his neck and his remaining arm and head are all stuffed with more thick black ichor that seems to pump through him. His flesh has become pale and pallid. It seems to hang off of his bones. You see a severed hand, not quite mummified, but sort of decayed to a point of distinct death, attached to a chain around his neck.
Ew.
He's carrying a large spiked club, and he's wearing fortified chainmail. Oh, he's only actually going to make a half move up to the middle of the pact, and then he's going to cast a horrible undead cursed spell on somebody, probably the one burning up his friends.
So, the priest? Yep, good. Not me.
Yeah, definitely not. Nope, burning one. Yeah.
Screw this.
Okay. Matthew. His dark glare pierces into you.
His power is long, awkward pauses.
It is. Dramatic. So dramatic.
It's not translated well? Skip it.
I'm going to put in the yakety sax music here.
No, it just needs absolutely no roll on his part. Sucks to be you. And no material components, none. A dark glare is enough. You, immediately ignoring all armor, suffer 3 points of damage.
Okay.
As a piercing curse of death penetrates you. Oh, I lied. You take 1d6 point of damage, ignore any armor, for all actions you try to perform.
Oh!
You suffer no damage if you remain still and passive. As an added bonus, any test you try to make...
He just made you his sub.
Any tests you try to make, regardless of the target, get a second chance to fail. You have to roll 2d20 and pick the worst for all your tests for the rest of this session, and also take 1d6 damage every time you try to make an action. That would explain why he does this first round of combat. Yes. Okay, so you're accursed, and that was him. Orlan, you're up.
I charge.
You charge the zombie? Oh, yeah. You guys also see a couple more robbers peeking out from where the Malrogan was.
Yeah, I'm charging at Malrogan. Stop this! This is not who you are!
Nice try. Go ahead, give me some damage. Or roll to hit, at least.
Okay. I will... what's that?
His defense is +3.
I fail.
Okay. You leap up with your massive sword and swing. Ooh, actually, since you got in range, you have a long weapon, right?
Yes.
You get a free attack. So that was your free attack. You failed.
Okay.
And now as you get in range, you can make a normal attack against them.
And it's +3?
It's +3, which means -3 to
Right.
your number.
That time I did hit.
Oh, great. Roll some damage.
8 points of damage.
All right. His heavy armor absorbs a good chunk of that, but you do cut into some rather wicked-looking flesh. Black ichor drips from the wound. Sort of not necessarily the way gravity you think would intend, but it drips sort of in all directions. One goblet narrowly misses your eye.
I'll take like an involuntary step back. What became of you? You are not the man I knew. What is this foul beast before me?
He says, I have been chosen for greatness. Come, join me. His 2 robber friends now go. Michael and Caleb, you are both being attacked. Make defense rolls.
What do? I roll something?
Yes, you roll defense.
Am I using dodge or shield? Since I used the two-handed weapon, I probably don't have a shield.
Yeah. If it's a +1 shield, then it's put onto your arm. Let me look at your stat block now. I'm not positive about that.
Because I literally rolled where one of them will pass and one of them will fail.
Oh, you have defense of 11, Bartolom. No, that's Bartolom. Defense
Mine's
13.
6 and 7. And I rolled a 7.
Ansel.
I'm the first.
You are the
second.
Or 7 shield. Oh, yeah. Roll the 7. Yep.
I got a 7.
Oh, unfortunately it is modified by robber accuracy, which is -3. So you fail. You take a crossbow to the face doing 5 damage. Go ahead and roll your armor.
So I actually rolled that?
Yes, your armor does... Your fortified chainmail reduces 1d8 of damage. They do a fixed amount of 5, so roll 1d8 and take that off.
All right, stand by. I don't have a D8. Hold on.
Roll a d4, and we'll just assume you rolled bad.
Or I could pull out a D8. 7. Ha-ha!
All right. The blow is entirely absorbed by your armor. Ansel, same thing. Give me a defense roll.
Okay, so for my defense roll, I rolled a 2 under a 9.
Ooh, that's definitely going to beat him with the modification of 3 for accurate. So, yes, you dodge out of the way as the bolt misses you through the crack of the door where they'd seen you. And now, let's see. Ansel, you're up, bottom of the round.
All right, so I will also charge forward, wielding my warhammer and thundering out a war cry / prayer. May the fires of Prios guide my hand. And I'll use Witch Hammer as a spell, which says free in what you sent.
Yep.
As just additional damage. Okay, so I would roll an attack.
Correct. It's accurate unless you have an ability that lets you roll like persuasive or something else instead of accurate.
Nope.
Okay. And are you attacking Malrogan, I assume?
Yes, but that's a miss. I got a 14 over 13.
Ooh, yeah, that's not going to do it. Okay. Top of the round. Matthew, you're tied with Malrogan. You'll go first, I believe.
Do I feel like I know what this spell does?
You definitely do. Being trained in the magic, you definitely can feel sort of a cold undead rictus infecting your arms and legs, and it cuts into you anytime you seem to move. It's like early onset rigor mortis, and it's physically painful to engage in any action at all. Feel weakened and very susceptible.
So when I killed that girl, did she like turn into a pile of ash, or is there stuff there like?
There's a pretty burnt up skeleton of what looks like a normal human being. The armor is consistent with an Ambrian.
I'm going to try to take cover then, in a very like cold, calculating, like how am I going to deal with this type of way? Because I don't know what else to do, because I feel like if I do one action, I'm going to be dead.
All right. You very gingerly step into the alcove. I'll assume that by when it says take an action, it doesn't mean a move action, but rather a combat action. So you're able to move into that alcove, all right. Malrogan's up next. Ooh. Okay, he looks down at you, Orlan, and he says, "Join me. Together we can rule this land. You have no idea what undeath can be like. It's marvelous. Here, let me show you." And he hefts his enormous spiked club and attempts to drive it into you. Roll defense. It's going to be modified by...
I rolled a natural 20.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, well then I don't need to tell you that it's modified by a lot because you brick it anyway. You take 6 points of damage to the face. Roll your armor to try and absorb that.
8!
Boom. Nicely done. All right, you take no damage as
My face is made of steel!
the spikes grate against you.
Gink!
You can feel his vile breath sort of oozing around both sides of the clubs that sits on your head and penetrating your helm.
Foul beast, I stand in the light. Let me show you its power.
Mm-hmm.
I swing my massive sword. And I rolled a natural 20. God damn it! That was a great speech.
All right. You and Malrogan continue your meek stalemate.
Except he's hitting me.
It's true. It's true. He might be hitting your friends too. They're going to take another shot at Caleb, one of the ones from the woods. All in black. Caleb, roll defense.
I fail again. 13 over 9 plus whatever modifiers.
Roll your armor. Crossbow does 5 damage.
I don't have armor. I have priest robes. Flexible.
They should do... really, they should still do 1d4, don't they?
It doesn't say on the sheet.
Oh, then they don't.
Yeah, so I just took 5 damage.
Yep, you sure did.
Oh, good.
My robes are 1d4.
Yeah, what are up with priest robes that they're not?
Yeah, that's weird, especially since he has a god believing in him and everything.
Well, you have blessed robes. I just have regular robes.
Yeah, no, but I figured you would have faith magic.
Yeah, blessed robes are supposed to protect for 1d4. It's probably a typo. Roll your d4.
Oh, okay.
It's light armor. It's listed as flexible, which is an armor quality. I can't imagine that's not.
1, so I take 4 damage.
Congratulations! Don't you feel so much better?
Yay!
All right. Ansel, now you're up.
All right. You said we could move into a flanking position, right?
Yes, that's correct.
I do that thing.
All right. You provoke. You will. Do you have acrobatics?
No.
Then you will provoke a free attack from Malrogan. Wait, are you in melee range of Malrogan?
I am in melee range.
Yes, then you will provoke a free attack. Yes.
Oh. Okay, then I'm just gonna hit him, or I'll attempt to hit him. Let me.
You
say
sure?
that.
Positive? All right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna attempt to hit him.
Roll to hit him.
There we are. 1 under 13.
That will definitely hit him, regardless of anything else that happens tonight. I'm pretty sure that 1s are almost always going to hit, unless you're Michael. Go ahead and roll some damage.
All right, so I have my Warhammer plus bonus damage from Witch Hammer for a total of 6 damage.
His armor seems to absorb most of that.
Yeah.
Ichor splatters out from the impact of your weapon, your implement. What weapon or implement are you using?
I have a Warhammer.
Your Warhammer leaves a kludge of ichor behind, and he turns to look at you and he says, "You seem eager to join us as well. How wonderful. I'll have so many disciples for the gang of robbers we're making. Ah!" He's very confused about what he's creating, but his enthusiasm really makes up for his lack of sanity.
For a second, I thought he was making a nice speech, and then it just became crazy talk.
Yeah, it kind of goes back and forth. Would any of the robbers would tell you, including the one that was burnt to cinders. All right, top of the round, Bartolom. How's that curse treating you?
It's shitty. Can I do anything with my aged sherry, my herbals, or my medicus, or wizardry to help myself?
Good question.
Or alchemy?
No idea. Let's try and find out. Curse is on page 133 of the book. Why is this curse kicking everybody's trash? It's so rad. Curse Master. He really does have it. And there it is. Curse Master. Oh! That is not true. Mystic fails a resolute test. You get to make a resolute test to resist every round. Look at that. Go ahead and make a resolute test to resist.
Cool.
It'll be opposed by his resolute, which is awesome. I lied. Yeah, you get a -3 from his resolute.
14 under... so -3 you said, so... I have a 15, so I have to roll under a 12?
Correct.
Okay, I rolled a 14, so...
Ugh, almost.
Yeah, no.
Can that be the one for last turn? Because he didn't know that he could do that?
Yes. Go ahead and roll once more.
I didn't want to say that. Thanks, Michael.
Got you back.
It's great when Michael's on my side.
It's good to have a team.
It's so rare.
When he's not, he's killing me in a burning house. I meet it to beat it? 12?
Yes, a tie will work.
Ah.
Do you have resolute 15?
Yes.
Nice. Yes, you make it just barely. You shake off the rigor mortis at the top of this turn. Now you're free to act again.
Oh, I can act now?
Yeah, you shake off the curse.
Little Brimstone Cascade on, the undead guy. Malrogan is his name. There it is.
Yeah, that's a... Yes. Resolute versus quick test. His quick is probably not great.
I hope not. He's missing an arm.
You never know. Maybe it
I
makes
know.
him lighter and faster.
Who knows?
It doesn't. You get a -1 is all from that.
Okay, so I got him.
All right, so roll your big, awesome damage.
I hope it's big and awesome because my shadow's getting bigger and darker as I do it. I imagine I got my points back after we finished the first combat with Crossbow Boy.
I believe this is all one scene.
Oh, well,
Ooh.
that's okay. I still got some
It
points.
sure is.
I am at a 10 damage.
10. It does, it is affected by armor though, right? Yes.
Oh, I don't know. I was going to check.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. Okay, he's looking quite a bit more hurt and burned and sore. Sour at you guys. He screams in rage. Ah! You will all join me! You will join me or perish! He's up next. He will attack... He doesn't like being burned, but he really doesn't like being challenged. He'll attack Orlan. Orlan, make a defense check.
5.
I
I think that fails, though.
It's a -7.
Oh, yeah, I can't pass that.
He has exceptionally strong at an adept level. He hits like a brick. Go ahead and roll your defense.
2.
2. Well, his spike club does 6 damage, so it sounds like you take 4.
Take
Points
4.
of toughness.
Okay. All right, I'm good.
Still up, and that wasn't above your pain threshold? Nope, I don't think I have pain threshold of any of you guys yet. All right.
Nope.
Orlan.
All right, it's my turn. I'm going to say that thing I said a minute ago. Just imagine I said it now. I'm also going to leader him and kind of rally everyone around so that if anyone else, including myself, hits him, we do extra damage. Because I was just trying to challenge him, but then I realized, hey, I'm not winning, so...
Good idea. I think the leader thing takes your combat action, though. So I
Oh,
think you
well,
have
then
to pick.
Then I would not have done that.
All right.
All right, I rolled a 6, which should hit him, and then I rolled a 7 for damage.
All right. His armor absorbs a fair amount of that, but he's still hurting. And by hurting, I mean he has been knocked unconscious.
Huzzah!
Exactly. The thing I said a minute ago was cool.
Malrogan collapses, and he says, "No, I will get vengeance. You will join me in death." And his body, once it collapses, begins to sort of separate and congeal and melt into the earth below. It gets stained black as his bodily fluids leak out. His fellow robbers behind him, those who are surviving, think that living might be the better part of valor right now, and they skedaddle off into the woods. Unless you guys want to chase them and try to gun them down.
No.
No, we will let them flee like the cowardly dogs they are and freeze and starve in winter.
All right, they do so. Go team.
My move is to take out the Sunstone and hold it above my head, and it just glows a little bit brighter.
Very patriotic.
Thank you.
I will go back into the tower and check on the lady and her fellow.
The wagon master's daughter is waiting for you to return to the tower, and she says, "My hero, Orlan,
okay.
you've saved me. Oh, the stories they will tell about us.
I'm going to palm her face and push her down.
No, I tripped. Oh, how clumsy of me. Oh dear, I'm sorry. I'm so clumsy."
When I walk in the tower, I'm like, "Hey, Lita, you cool?"
Good.
All right, rock and roll.
Let us be off before any other foulness apprehends us.
All right. Do you guys want to do anything else with the tower?
Is Keller still tied up?
Yes. Yep.
Well, then we should grab him and lead him back to the camp with us.
Well, if this was their base of operations, it's possible there could be some loot here. Perhaps we should loot check?
That's true. Let's loot check before we go. That should be a quick Control F search.
All right. After some searching that is not rushed, and so there's no real compelling reason to make you guys roll, you find a cache of 12 thaler. 12 thaler.
And what's the equivalent of thaler?
They are thaler. They're a currency, a denomination of money. I can look that up if you really want to know.
It says in the book that I started with 1 thaler and 3 shillings. So
I think it's 10 shillings to the thaler.
I have 3 thalers and 9 shillings.
Money bags over there, Jesus.
Yeah. Didn't you start as privileged too? That gives you a lot more.
Yep.
Money. Yeah.
This is excellent. We can take these monies and give to the wagon master for our passage.
Yeah.
We were out here getting shot.
I was not shot. I was barely injured at all.
I'm bleeding from the face over here. Shut up. Give me the money.
The light of Prios has protected me. Thank you for being by my side, good friend.
Yeah, privilege starts with 50 thaler, as opposed to the 5 that everybody else starts with.
Before we leave, I'll probably apply some medicinals to my friend's face.
That's so generous of you.
Yeah, I like him. And he likes the god of the sun, so.
Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
Okay. So you guys gather your motley crew and return to the circled wagons. There is quite a commotion as you're spotted coming back down. The wagon obviously is not broken camp yet. It's almost midday, and they're very relieved to see you. Argasta is "Oh, my lovely daughter, you've returned her. Oh, her dignity is intact. How can I ever thank you all?"
I'm pretty injured. Maybe you could help me.
Your thanks are all we need. It was my honor to rescue your daughter.
You know what? Yeah. Okay. We'll do that.
He says, "Oh, but of course, tending to your injuries, I do have a couple of herbal cures that I would be happy to give you. Here," and he hands you the group 2 herbal cures.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Oh, and I wanted to make a point of bringing Keller back to him and kind of tossing him at his feet and saying, "Here is the fiend that has absconded with your daughter. As promised, we brought him back for your swift justice."
Capital! What should be done with this horrible wretch? Should we take him into the kingdom and exact his vengeance there?
Not vengeance, sir. Justice.
Justice. Or does justice lead us to simply jeer and abandon him from the camp? What say you? You were the ones who captured him. I believe your voice should feature strongly here.
Well, he is a coward and a thief, but he is not a murderer. I say we cut off his hands.
Argosto raises his eyebrows. He says, that is rather severe, but if you believe that is the right punishment, I will support you. In the meantime, a number of characters who you've sort of gotten to know by first name, but not necessarily met, are from the caravan, are jeering and leering and throwing pebbles and things of that nature. There are a couple of there's another drover whose name escapes you guys at the moment, who's throwing stuff. There's a mid-level merchant, glass merchant, who is throwing things. His name is Belarus. And, of course, you see a deep glower from the Black Cloak Lestra, who you have previously met. She is not jeering, but rather glowering at your guys' continued success and flaunting of Prios.
We're done? Yay!
I think. Are you cutting his hands off?
Yeah, I'll cut his hands off.
Oh my
All right.
god.
All right, you guys cut his hands off.
Oh, jeez. I love the dichotomy here. He was a pain in the ass about shooting that chick because we didn't know who she was yet, but we get him back to camp. I think we should cut his hands off.
He's a thief
And a
and
liar.
a liar.
And he didn't treat his good friend, that random drover, very well.
That's his name, Rando Drover.
Rando Droverithian.
Droverian, yep.
As the party wanders away, the snow gently settles under the ichord corpse of Malrogan. And after an hour passage, the hand around his neck begins to glow, and his body starts to reform.
Thanks for listening to the RPG Academy podcast, the flagship program of the RPG Academy Network. If you enjoy what we do here, then please check out therpgacademy.com and visit our site partners for additional entertainment and gaming advice.
We do this out of love for the hobby and for you, our fans. The podcast and site content will always be free for you to enjoy and utilize. But we do have expenses related to the show. If you'd like to help out in any way, please visit patreon.com/therpgacademy and check out the rewards we are providing for your monthly pledges. We use all funds that come in to improve the show and give you better content and quality.
And if you don't have the coin to spend, don't worry. You can still help us out in many ways. You can subscribe to our show on iTunes and or Stitcher Radio. You can leave us a 5-star review. Also, if you clear your cookies and you visit Amazon or the Drive-Thru RPG site through our portal, we get a small percentage of what you pay, and it doesn't cost you anything extra.
Just like any RPG, our site works best with open lines of communication. We love talking with our listeners about everything. Please contact us with any questions, concerns, and comments that you have. We also love to hear feedback and experiences from your own games. You can email us via podcast@therpgacademy.com and reach us on social media, such as Facebook and Google+, at The RPG Academy.
But Twitter is usually the fastest way to reach us. You can find my favorite co-host, The Caleb G, at The Caleb G.
And you can find my favorite co-host, Michael, at The RPG Academy.
Thanks for listening, and as always, if you're having fun, you're doing it right.